Hey everyone, and welcome back for another Crafter's Toolbox. This is Nicole at Pixel Maven's Retreat, and if you're new here, please do click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on any of my brand new tutorials. I put out new content every week. So today I'm going to share with you how I made this really awesome shaker card, and as you can see here, it's not a regular shaker card. It's actually a gel shaker, and I am in love with the way that this looks. It is so cool because it just suspends all of those sequins in there, and they just kind of float aimlessly, not too quickly, and it looks so cool. And it's great for this December cut file from scrapbook.com. So as you can see, I really didn't do anything to this but create this awesome shaker and apply it behind the cut file. So let's get right to it, and you can be making your own gel shakers in no time. Okay, so the key to making gel shakers is having the right equipment on hand. So I am using these cello bags that you would use to store cards in if you are going to be selling them. You can use a regular Ziploc bag if you would like. I liked this because it's more of a, the plastic is different on it. So I like this material better than I do a regular plastic bag, but either will work. You just need to be really careful at your seams that you don't get too aggressive with it, that you end up splitting a seam, because then you're going to have gel all over the place. So I'm also using a piece of tonic mirror card. This is Harvest Gold, and I just put a 1/8 inch piece of double-sided adhesive from scrapbook.com. And as you can see, it is smaller than the bag, which is perfect because this is how we're going to keep those side seams from busting open. So all I'm going to do is set this up, and you're going to be really amazed at how easy this whole process is. All right. So once I have these guys peeled, this is almost the hardest part, peeling all these little backings off. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm just going to go ahead and place my bag right over top of this and stick it on. Okay, and it doesn't matter which side the opening is and all that kind of stuff. But then, before I even start putting any kind of material inside, I'm going to flip this over and just use some Scotch tape. You can use any kind of tape you have on hand. You can use packing tape or masking tape, whatever you want, but it all works. And I'm just going to fold all these corners over. So what this is going to do is help protect those seams so that they don't bust open. And it's going to get us a shaker just the right size for the project. So I should say that before I even started this whole process, I did make sure that this piece was going to fit exactly where I wanted it to, and cut everything down to size. Okay, so I've got that. I'm just going to cover this little seam here where they folded over. Okay, so that's really going to keep everything nice and secure and keep those from busting open. And then what I'll do is, after everything is filled and we have all the air out of this, I'll just be able to fold this over and then, of course, tape this on the back too. And actually, I could even just trim this off. I really don't need the flap that it comes with, but that'll work. So a reason why I like using these, not only because of the type of plastic, but because it doesn't have that zip lock piece on the back, and so it's not going to be super bulky. Okay, so now I have this little pocket, and I need to fill it. So I'm going to start with these sequins from 28 Lilac Lane. This is called their Blizzard tin, and it's got all sorts of different white sequins in it, plus it has snowflake sequins. Hello, it's a blizzard. So I'm just going to throw in a couple of pinches of that. You don't want to get too much in here because it's not going to move around like a shaker card would. So like literally, that's almost enough. I might add just a little bit more. So almost like close to just like almost a teaspoonful. I'm definitely nowhere near a tablespoon. You don't need a whole lot in there. All right, Just eyeballing this, so maybe just one more little pinch. Okay, good enough. Okay, so I've got that in there. And then the next thing I need to do is actually create the gel. So I'm just going to use a little Dixie cup, and I'm using hand sanitizer. So I'm going to throw in like 8 pumps of hand sanitizer. And then this is the secret ingredient. So this is glycerin. This is a vegetable glycerin by Wilton. So you can find this in the baking supply aisle of your local Joanne Michaels Hobby. And of course this little piece is always stuck in there. So then I just pour in a little bit of this. And what this is going to do is kind of loosen up the alcohol from the hand sanitizer. It makes it just a little bit more runny. See, otherwise it's just too thick and then nothing moves. So a little secret recipe here. See, isn't that pretty cool? Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and spoon that in spoon it right in. And I just made a somewhat critical mistake. Well, not really critical, but a mistake. Is that I allowed the gel to get on the edges here. But fortunately, it's just the hand sanitizer, so I can take it off. And there won't be any issue with that. Ideally, you don't want to get any beyond where you know it's going to crease over, but a little bit won't hurt. So now I just want to push out air. So if I have air bubbles way down here at the bottom, I need to just gently move them out. And having a little air bubble in here isn't a big deal. Hey, there we go. But we do want to try to get rid of most of it. Okay, so now that I have most of it out, there's almost all of it. All right, now I can go ahead and fold this over. And then, like I said, I ended up with a little bit of a mess here. So you can see this isn't a perfect science, but if you just take your time with it, it's going to work out awesome. All right, and then I can go ahead and tape this back piece. Now the other thing we're going to do is when we actually assemble the shaker to the card, this is going to have some breathing room, so some of that will evaporate in here and that'll be fine. All right. So now I can gently start moving these guys around and get them in position. All right, once you're happy with the way that your gel shaker looks and you're assured that you have no leaks, it is time to go ahead and encase it inside of the foreground piece. So it's going to go like so. So we're basically going to build this out on the back side. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this to stick to this, and believe it or not, just some Tombow adhesive, and I put it on all of these little pieces so that they stick down really well. This will actually adhere it to the plastic. So I was really happy to see that, because I thought, oh, maybe I needed to cut this with some double-sided adhesive on it, which would work too if you choose to do so. But if you forget or you don't have double-sided adhesive sheets, this will work just as well. So just making sure that I get all of these little inside pieces, because that's really what I don't want to have popping up. So I can just go ahead and take this and flip it over and pop it right on. And the reason I did it that way is because I wanted to make sure that I had some good borders going on around here, because Because what I did is I took some fun foam and I doubled it up and I added double-sided adhesive to it. Now, if you have fun foam with adhesive already on it, that works just as well. I did not, so I just used some of my scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive to make my own. You can also just use your Tombow adhesive. It will work. That's what I did with my original design, but this works, I think, even better because it makes sure that everything will stick. And I had to double it up because this ends up being pretty thick. Now, I'm sure you probably have questions about sending this in the mail. I would give it a try. I don't see any problem with sending it in the mail. It should not leak. If you've tested it and you know that it doesn't have any leaks in the packaging, then because we're going to be casing this around and nothing's going to be really pressing on it, you should be okay with it. If you feel better about it, you can always just do a hand deliver. All right, so I've got all these little strips almost in place, and you can see how that really works to encase everything together. All right. So then, just going to go ahead and peel these off. I don't necessarily have to do it this way, but I want to do it this way to keep this gel pack from slipping ever. I am going to put a backer on this. And it's just a thin piece of 80-pound white cardstock. And it just makes me feel better knowing that the whole thing is sealed up and that you shouldn't have any problems with it. Okay, so I have all of those pieces peeled off, and I have this piece of white cardstock, and now I can just go ahead and kind of sandwich the whole thing together. And there we go. So now that is done and ready to go. It's nice and cased in place. And I just have to add some more adhesive to the back of this. And add it to my card base. The great thing about this card is, while A, no stamping, which is sometimes a nice thing, and B, the only element that you're really concerned about is making these little gel packs. So the rest of it is just nice and plain, but absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to create your own gel shaker cards and that you give it a try with a project soon. If you do, don't forget to hashtag it out on social media with hashtag PMRetreat, and I would love to find it and share it with all of my followers. So thank you for stopping by today. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon. But until next time, happy crafting.